with very serious, traditional, Christian Filipino parents. We had a type of distant dynamic where we never really said I love you or talked about ourselves or our day during dinner, and only really talked about how well we were doing in school. Talking about anything that had to do with romance or relationships felt unnatural and would always end up the same way.
Focus on your studies. This is how people end up pregnant in high school, huh?
I always thought it was normal to have this type of distance with your parents until I started hanging out with other friends and noticed my friends would joke with their parents in ways that would normally get my ass beat.
This bed is too squeaky. If I bring a guy over, you'll hear me getting fucked. Is that what you want?
One time I tried to joke around with my dad in a similar way and it just went terribly wrong. Hey dad, how do you get a watermelon pregnant? What? You back one. You get it? You get it, cuz? Another time, I got scolded by my mom because I googled a certain word in middle school. What is this? Why are you looking this stuff up? Talking about anything having to do with adult stuff or even boys and love in general was a highly uncomfortable topic to discuss with my parents because like I said, they were very strict about me focusing on my studies and not getting pregnant, so I never felt comfortable opening up about any of those curiosities. But you know what? Low-key, I feel like it's not entirely weird for thinking it's cringe to openly talk about this stuff with your parents. Like, do you guys not find it awkward talking about that stuff with your parents? One day, my parents wanted to watch a movie in theaters to try and have a little family bonding moment. We didn't have a specific movie we wanted to watch, so I ended up looking up the synopses for all of the movies showing that day. One of those movies was called Red Sparrow. When I looked up what Red Sparrow was about, I read, prima ballerina Dominika Igorova faces a bleak and uncertain future after she suffers an injury that ends her career. She soon turns to Sparrow School, a secret intelligence service that trains exceptional young people to use their minds and bodies as weapons. Igorova emerges as the most dangerous sparrow after completing the sadistic training process. As she comes to terms with her new abilities, Dominika meets a CIA agent who tries to convince her that he is the only person she can trust. This sounds so cool! Intense secret intelligence training school, mysterious government spies, and thrilling action. They're gonna love this one. Little would anyone know that the movie description was actually pretty misleading. I get that the synopsis is there to just summarize the film's main plot points, and maybe it would be considered a spoiler to mention that Dominika did not just go to a cool spy school.
You sent me to horse school.
Nowhere did it mention it was actually a espionage movie. Now, this is a pretty old movie, but just a heads up, there will be spoilers throughout this entire video, and I'll be describing some pretty insane scenes. So if you're underage or you care about spoilers, I'm afraid you must leave. Shoot, go watch some of my other videos. I'm not gonna be trying out all the 18+ stuff that'll get me demonetized, so if you're here for that, let me instead introduce you to the spicy sponsor of today's video, Arc Recode. Build your own exclusive waifu army and save the world in this new apocalyptic adult strategy RPG released by Aerolabs. Arc Recode is a game where you lead a squad of diverse, elite, charming, and capable girls to find a way to save the world and battle against an unknown entity trying to wipe out humanity, all while building a deep bond with each of them. Connect with the girls you admire and raise their abilities to earn their character-specific CG, and also enjoy hundreds of amazing illustrations of more beautiful girls with unique personalities designed by top illustrators. This game is 18+ with ample adult content and alluring battle features sure to be a feast for the eyes. But it's so much more than that. This game pairs rich lore, enticing character animations with magnificent skill effects to present such a unique and mesmerizing gameplay experience that leaves you wanting to see it all. Don't keep her waiting any further. Download Arc Recode right now directly from the Aerolabs site as an APK file on both iOS and Android devices, which you can find through this QR code or the link down in the description and comments. Thank you again, Arc Recode, for sponsoring today's video. I was aware of the movie's rating, but I didn't expect how graphic or uncomfortable it was going to be, or how many disturbing content warnings it included. I really thought the rating was for having bloody action and maybe some steamy kissing, and you know what? I actually enjoy these type of movies. Just not with my Christian parents. Anyways, I'm happy. Like, what a beautiful Saturday morning to be bonding with my family and watching what I'm thinking is going to be a crazy good movie that we'll be able to excitedly talk and bond about afterwards. Not long into this movie, the main character Dominica, who just went through her traumatic ballet accident, learns through her uncle that it was not an accident, but an intentional act set up by her ballet dance partner, who was having a secret affair with another ballerina who wanted Dominica's place in this dance. We then see Dominica walking in on these two traitors bumping coochies in the shower room, to which an enraged Dominica then uses her walking cane to beat the living out of them. During this scene, I was questioning all my choices, like, whoa, maybe this movie is a little too much for my parents. Or maybe not. Maybe that was the worst we were going to see. We learn later that the Red Sparrow school Dominica attended was actually, like she said,
Horse school.
these secret intelligence agents didn't just learn how to pick locks and conceal their identity. They learned how to... There is a whole scene where they're all sitting in a room watching Prawn so they can learn how to seduce and manipulate their target. So this movie was about spies who have sex. This one scene comes up where the instructor or matron of the class tells one of the students to get on her knees and give the Gawk 3000 to this nasty ass prisoner so that they can learn to desensitize themselves and detach their emotions from their line of work. At this point, I'm panicking inside. I'm fully panicking. This was literally the worst movie I could have ever chosen to watch with my Christian Asian parents. I look over at my parents and my mom is just giving me the look. My dad, on the other hand, is laughing at how ridiculously graphic this movie was. I was sweating, my mouth drying up, my heart racing from secondhand embarrassment as my mind was all over the place debating whether I should tell my parents this was a bad idea and that we should maybe see if we could get into a different movie, or if we should just finish watching and try to enjoy it since we were already 1/3 into this movie that we already paid for. I thought maybe this was truly the worst it was gonna get. It really can't get any more graphic, right? And then we're hit with the scene that just obliterated any ounce of comfort or dignity I had left. The matron demands Dominica to give herself to the class bully. So she proceeds to do exactly that in front of the entire class. She sits on the desk, spreads her legs, hitting that pose 28, revealing everything, and then tells the class bully,
Are you going to f me or not?
and then the guy just starts aggressively... At this point, I could feel my mom's eyes burning through my soul. Except my soul had already left the chat. I didn't know how to cope with this extreme cringe, so I just closed my eyes. I played dead. I didn't know what else to do. I thought I could make it seem like I wasn't even paying attention to this movie. Like, don't know what that is. Honk shoo, me. Every time a spicy scene came up, I would immediately eject my soul and pretend to fall asleep again. At some point, like towards the later half of the movie, all of the crazy scenes died down almost completely, and we all started getting really engrossed in the actual plot and mystery of the movie. There were a lot of intense scenes and also an unexpected romance blooming. Me and my family were hooked. It was almost like I wasn't begging God to end me like 40 minutes ago. Aside from all the graphic scenes and gore, this movie was surprisingly really good towards the end. There was this crazy plot twist where we realized throughout the entire movie, Dominica was actually working as a double spy with her American spy boyfriend, secretly setting up and compiling a bunch of evidence to frame her uncle to be the traitor of Russia, so that he would be executed instead of the real mole. And she would then be praised and promoted in his place, continuing to work for the Russian intelligence service as a double spy mole, alongside the original mold. The movie concludes with an open ending of Dominica answering the phone and smiling to ballet music being played, a song that her American boyfriend played for her earlier in the movie, suggesting that they may have reconnected. My drawings and storytelling really don't do the actual movie justice, so if you're of age, go watch it. Once we left, all my parents and I could talk about was how crazy that ending was and how we didn't even notice Dominica secretly plotting against her uncle the entire movie, and how we hoped that she found love in the end. Instead of this being just a cringy, horrible memory about me choosing the worst movie to watch with my parents, which it still is, it ended up being unexpectedly pretty wholesome and a really nice memory of family bonding watching an incredibly written movie. Anyways, look up the movie ratings and what it's actually about before watching anything with your parents. Okay, bye.